Hello, you're listening to No Kids, No Pain. I'm Romina Puma.
And I'm Luca Cupani, and this podcast is about the choice of being child-free.
Each week we will explore the topic of choosing not to have kids.
And we would love to hear from you too.
If you decide to be child-free,
don't feel guilty, this is the podcast for you.
And if you have kids,
here's what you're missing out.
Welcome to a new episode of No Kids, No Pain. I'm here as usual with my co-host Luca Cupani.
Hi, Romina. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm happy, always happy. Also, winter is fading away, I like to say. I hope so. And we have a great guest.
Yes.
All the way from Italy via Zoom, because we use technology now. We are getting better.
Yeah, that's the way. I mean, after the pandemic, Zoom is very popular.
And he's a comedian, and he's Italian and British and American, I think.
And American, that's right.
And he's drum rolling. And let's welcome John Vincent.
Hello, Romina. Hi, Luca.
Hi, Vincent. So good to have you here.
I'm actually very happy to be on this show. I'm always happy to speak with comedians.
That's nice. Yeah,
in any form.
Nice.
I've come to the conclusion that that's the main reason why I do comedy, is because I just can't stand boring people, and so I just like to hang out with comedians. Even though comedians are some of the I'm not going to say worst people, but some of the most damaged people that you can meet.
That's the saddest people on the planet.
That's what they say. They say, but I don't. Is that a stereotype? Actually, they say that.
Maybe
a little bit, but I mean, I think myself.
I think comedians are needy.
No, you're not boring. You get furious very often, so that gives a lot of energy.
Yeah, that fury is the Italian side of me.
Okay, well, it's good.
Well, actually, that's what Salvatore said. Gabriele Salvatore. He said that he liked working with comedians as actors because they have an anger inside that actors don't have, And I think comedians have a strong.
I'm available if you need.
Yeah, by the way, Salvatore, please, stop with the usual comedians. There's a whole new generation of Italian comedians that would love to be in your films.
Yes, because it's time for us to make it big, to get some success.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's get into the podcast. The main aim of this podcast, as it says, No Kids, No Pain. So the question comes easy. The first one is, John, do you have kids?
No, I don't have kids. Did you know that I didn't have kids, or did you just invite me, and then if I had kids, that was it?
I actually knew that you didn't have kids, and I know that you have cats.
I have 2 cats.
Yeah.
I've got 2 cats, and they're outside of the room.
A busy father, anyway. A busy father.
Yeah. Well, not really. Cats are the easiest pet you can keep. Do you have cats?
I do have one.
Romina has one. Only one.
Yes, one is enough.
I like to have 2 because it's fun, to manage them. Especially one's older, one's younger, so they fight, and that's always lots of fun, But yes, cats are clearly, for me and my girlfriend, they're clearly our surrogate for children. Everybody will say, absolutely yes. There are babies. We cuddle them, we hold them, we make them talk in our heads. We've created entire personalities for them, interests and likes. When they come into the room, I do the voice of one cat or the other cat, and we have whole conversations. And we've come to the point that we actually convinced the cat is actually talking.
I do the same.
Yeah, we're one of those people who do that. If you don't do that, I don't know. I don't want to know you. I don't want to hang out with you.
What's the point of having a cat if you don't?
There is a cat that comes here. Outside my patio door, and he rolls over, and when she sees him, she goes mental. She starts huffing at him. The tail goes all puffy. But sometimes he walks past here, and she's maybe in the other room. I call her. I say, Neo, your friend is here.
Well, you have to know that the younger cat. Now, this is means nothing for maybe the English speakers who are listening, but the younger cat has the voice of Italian comedian Giorgio Magri.
Okay.
So if you know Giorgio Magri, his
know.
voice, that's the voice of my younger cat. So I do my Giorgio Magri imitation when I make him talk. And because he's a cat from the street, you know? So he's like, oh, ciao, come va? Ciao, allora, che succede? So, but he's a very complicated character. It's 360 degrees. Like, he's also very confused. So he gets confused sometimes, and he wants to be cool, but he's also a house cat. So he's living this sort of comedy dichotomy between like, perché io sono del quartiere, cioè, capisci? Adesso vado a dormire, ciao. Ok, cioè, perché comunque bisogna lottare per vivere, ma adesso non voglio uscire. Adesso voglio mangiare crocchetti. Sono crocchetti, ok. Huh?
Italian cat from the neighborhood, straight out.
He's a cat. He's like Jenny from the hood.
But does your cat go out?
No, okay, this is the thing. I make my cat talk with my girlfriend. Clearly, there's something wrong in my head. Okay, so I have my cat tell my girlfriend that he'd like to go out. But she tells the cat that no, he can't go out, and he's like, why can't I go out? I want to go out. And that was the problem. And he's like, I want to. Then I'm looking outside. He's like, oh, I wish I could go out. Hey, mommy, could I go out? He's like, no, you can't go out. Then we have these whole conversation. It's actually between me and my girlfriend, but I'm somehow convinced that my cat is speaking, and I'm completely dissociated from reality at this point. So obviously somebody might say, well, maybe John, maybe you need a child. Because maybe that's your problem.
But would you like to have a child?
Actually, I have to be honest. I would like to have a child, but this is something that kind of it started with like in the last year or so, because I never wanted to have kids. I remember until I was like 38, 39, and then at some point at like 40, I'm with Ilaria, and you know, I'm very happy with her, and we're getting married. We've been together for 4 years. And we're getting married in soon. That's right. Thank you.
It's a big day.
It's a big thing. Yes, we're getting married, and
when is the big day?
Oh, the big day. Well, in theory, it should be in September. In theory, but we're still organizing some stuff, so it's not certain yet.
Nice.
But you know, I'm like kind of like thinking to myself, oh, I wouldn't mind being daddy. You know, and because I'm starting to think like it's probably, I don't know what it is. It's like I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, if I don't do it now, I'm going to be too tired later, you know, to raise the kids, because it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like either now, and also, you know, I'm kind of like, I enjoy the idea, you know, maybe having a kid and raising them and trying to see what happens if they raise them right or not, like an ongoing project.
Like an experiment.
But
what made you switch? Because
no, I don't really know what made me switch. I think it had to do with getting older, but it also had to do with finding the right person for me. You know, that was kind of the. I'm really glad I didn't have kids, and I didn't get married until now. It's an interesting thing. Like, for example, I'm very, very happy that it happened now, because I have no regrets for not having had kids with my previous relationships, especially some of which would have been, in my opinion, really bad mothers. It's true. There was also, I have to admit, this might be seen as a bit fascistic, but it's like, I'm thinking, well, you know, Ilaria is like a perfect mother. It's like, I think I would be lucky to have her as a mom.
But
you know,
is she on the same page as
Oh yeah,
you?
she's on the same
Okay.
page, 100%. Yeah. No. Obviously, she's a woman. She doesn't get to choose. What are we saying here?
Replacing her pills with sugar.
Of course, we forgot to talk about her.
No, because
so modern.
There are some couples where one doesn't want to be father or mother, the other wants more, and I guess it's important that they agree, because it's a project that has to be equally shared. Otherwise, it's just...
Absolutely.
But have you started this conversation like in this last period here, or is something that like you addressed kind of at the beginning of your
You know, I don't
relationship.
even remember where it came out. You know, I have to say I'm very lucky that we just know that about each other. And I don't know where we first addressed it, and it was never like you know, it was never a debate or anything, or ever like I would like kids or I would like kids, or just at some point we're like, oh, you know, it would be nice to have kids. And but we don't know when, and we haven't been trying for kids yet. So obviously we don't even know if it will be practically possible.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
what if there is like a technicality that either of
Well,
you can't have it?
you see, she also says, and I have no problems with this, she always says that she would actually, she's always, ever since she was a child, she liked the idea of adopting a child as well. And so she's actually up for the idea of adoption. And I have no idea how that works from a legal standpoint. And from it, I think it's very long process and very difficult, and it would be quite difficult. But you know, if that were not possible biologically, we might be interested in adopting. I don't know if that would become possible practically.
An
You know,
IVF?
IVF. I forget what IVF is. That
Is the
in
artificial
vitro.
way. So
Yeah,
when
we haven't discussed that.
okay, well, but that's I would say this is only a problem when if there's a technical problem, and then IVF could be a solution.
I think that knowing her, and this is something that she'd have to choose because I would have no say in this, but knowing her, she would probably be more interested. She would probably be more for the idea of adoption rather than IVF. Because she has kind of like that idea of there's so many children in the world and some of them don't really have anybody. And it's you know, it's better to give a child who doesn't have the possibility of a good future. A good future. I don't know why being with a comedian would be a good future for a child. Obviously, that doesn't sound like very good. I mean, if I were an adoption agency, the first question is, are you a comedian? Yes, no, you can't have kids. Please, in fact, please get a vasectomy. If that's
I
any.
think it would be a very fun childhood to be with.
You think so? Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. So I think she would she'd probably be for adoption. She actually is kind of like the type of person who would like to adopt a kid, even if it were possible to have one biologically.
Maybe you can do both.
Maybe we actually discussed that once. Yeah.
Let me ask a question. Is she
But
also?
you know, we're running ahead of ourselves. We're just going to get married first, you know, so that everything is done
hypothetically.
Yeah, exactly. So that God doesn't look down upon us.
Well done. Sensible choice.
Luke is very religious. He's like, very well done. You don't want to go to hell.
Says the guy who doesn't want kids and still thinks God agrees with him.
But unlike me, who would like kids, you believe in God.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, like he said, oh yeah, God, Jesus, my wingman.
I don't want to yet have a fight with God, not at all. But just a question: is your girlfriend also a comedian? Because then I would say
no. She's a video editor, but she loves comedy, and we're together because of comedy. Because we met at a show at Turro, where you used to perform as well.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so she came to see a show. It was Valerio Airo was performing, and then you know we met and we got together, and so actually. You know, I really can never, you know, every time I like, you know, because you know how us comedians are, we get depressed sometimes. We're like, my career is going nowhere. What
has comedy ever done to me?
What has comedy ever given me? You know, and I'm like, I want to give it up. I wasted 10 years of my life. And she's like, how dare you say that you wasted 10? If it wasn't for comedy, we would not be together.
He has a point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Imagine how many couples would still be together if it wasn't for comedy.
To be fair, though, those are probably couples that shouldn't have been together in the first place. Because I think it's a great litmus test to see if your couple really works, to see if they can withstand the comedy career.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least even the attempt at a comedy career.
Yeah, my second date with Laura was at a comedy club.
Oh, no.
Open mic. She survived, and I thought, okay, she's a trooper.
I remember my second date with my boyfriend. It was also at a comedy night, and I didn't perform for like 6 months, and it was like my gig after 6 months. I was so nervous. And so he is normally very quiet. He's not a very chatty man, I must say. But that night, for some reason, he kept talking to me. And when I'm stressed and I'm about to go on stage, I'm very, very nervous. And it's like, just leave me alone. Don't talk to me. You know, I need to go in my zone. And he kept talking, and I was literally about to go on stage. And I turned into him. I said, I'm really sorry, but can you just shut the fuck up?
And that's where he fell in love.
Yeah. And since then, when I'm about to go on stage, he just goes somewhere else.
Oh, now he knows. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, of course, I mean, girlfriends and boyfriends, they stop showing up at some point. I mean, and I mean, that's what happened with me, is that she doesn't come to any of my gigs anymore.
In a way, sometimes I need him, but maybe
really?
because being disabled, sometimes I need help to go on stage.
That's true, of course.
So I sometimes have him with me, mainly for practical reasons, against his will.
No, my wife still comes to my show also because she gives me the most honest review straight after. So I kind of need this because of my ego never.
I remember Laura coming to your shows.
Yeah.
And, you know, and me thinking, why? About her. I mean, in the sense, you're phenomenal.
And then she
as a comedian, but I mean, you can only watch the Luca Cupani so many times before you're like, well, you know, I think I'll stay home and watch True Detective.
Yeah, but she likes to give. Then I need their sort of feedback. It works, and we don't have any kid waiting for us at home. But we would be very bad parents.
I really love your relationship. I mean,
no, you have a great relationship.
I wish I had someone like that coming to all my gigs and give me feedback afterwards. You should improve this. You should improve that. Take that joke out because it doesn't work.
The problem with Ilaria is there was a period that she was coming to my gigs, and I don't know why, it was one of those periods that I wasn't doing so well on the stage. I was like, maybe I had to figure something out, or I was at a roadblock, or I don't know what the hell it was. Anyway, it was like a series of gigs that went kind of badly, and she saw all of them. And then she stopped coming, and then all of a sudden I started, you know, killing on stage again. And so like it was like she was the problem for a while.
You know, having said that, one thing, I mean, I asked him to come with me when I really need to, because I need him to help me with. Otherwise, I'd rather go by myself, because when I'm by myself, I do great. When he's with me, not all the time. And so I'm just in my head, I'm saying, it's because you're here.
Yeah. And of course, from their point of view, it's, oh, actually, this comedian, he's not really funny. He just pretends that he killed when I'm not there, because he just says, oh yeah, it's great. It was a great show. It was incredible. It's like, yeah, I know you. Every time I see you, you know, people are looking around. When is this over? It's a tough life, the life of a comedian.
Yeah. But just to get back on
on track
on the kids.
Yeah.
Does your family give you any?
No.
You know, put
they
you
don't
any
give
pressure?
Me any shit. I have. Okay, you have to understand that my family is insane. Okay, this is the first thing you have to know. My mother and father are like mentally ill. I mean, in a bad and good sense, in the sense that it can be the most depressing people you can hang out with and the most hilarious people you can hang out with at the same time. But the good thing about my family is, because they're so crazy, okay, is that they never ever bothered me about anything regarding relationships. So like, when are you going to find a girlfriend? When are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? They never broke my balls. When I found someone, every time I'd have a girlfriend and I present them to them, they were always over the moon, super happy. And, you know, when then it would break up, they'd be like, well, it ended. That's okay. You know, and they just go, with relationships, my family is phenomenal. But I have to say about most things, like my family is very positive about the comedy, very positive, except that unfortunately they're pro-Trump, but you know, you can't really have everything.
Your mom is Italian?
No, my mom is American.
And your dad is English.
He's English, but yeah, exactly. So my mom is American, but she is like third generation Italian American.
Okay.
So her father born in America, her grandfather born in Italy. Now, my father, on the other hand, born in London, but his father was from Rome.
Oh.
He was a professor of Italian literature in London.
Oh, okay. So they all speak Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
my grandfather, you can actually find the Wikipedia. This is the crazy thing. My grandfather actually has a Wikipedia page. You can look for Gianni Aquilecchia.
Wow.
And he was like he was a well-known scholar, actually, believe it or not. And my father and his brother and his sister all have daddy issues because they had to grow up with this like brilliant father who was an asshole.
Oh.
Besides, he was brilliant, but he was also a dick. And he, like, imagine that you have this brilliant father who doesn't want you to achieve success.
Oh.
If you achieve more success than him, then that means that he's like lesser.
Yeah.
And so my father and his brother and everything, they're all screwed in the head. But as a consequence, my father was great as a father.
There you go.
He didn't want to be like his father was with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like putting the kid down and everything and discouraging him all the time. And so in my case, everything I did, even to an extent, like in the sense that he'd always celebrate everything I did, even when I wasn't doing that great.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how? It only took you 8 years to get through university because you did it so well.
Yes, you really wanted to.
And you can be a little bit negative. It's okay. You don't have to be positive about everything.
Yeah. But I think in a way, this also comes because your family, it's kind of Italian, but it's more, Anglo-Saxon.
In a way, maybe.
Sort of way. Because like what we notice is with our British guests, they never say that the family put any pressure, but when we speak to Italian guests, they all had like pressure from their family. So when
find the husband, find more pressure on women than on men, but usually it's find a husband, deliver a baby.
Also find a wife. What about you, Luca? Was that like with them? Did you have
my parents aren't around anymore, so I know I'm free. I'm just happy, and to be honest, sometimes I miss my father a bit more, but no, I think not having an Italian mother alive helped my relationship with my wife. I think having a dead mother-in-law is an asset when you are dating. If you're a boy when you're dating, and my mom is dead, that makes you more attractive.
Yeah, no, I never had any pressure because, my mom, she didn't want kids in the first place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
not even
didn't want Romina.
She didn't hide this.
No, she always told me
child?
that she didn't. I'm the only child, and she always told me that she didn't want kids. I'm here because my dad wanted.
That's not the nicest thing to tell a child. I mean, even if it's true, you can keep that for yourself,
No, my mom.
Also because she can, delivered you. Like, why are you here? Well,
I'm sorry.
Push her back in. Push her back in.
What happened?
But
to be honest, I mean, I was a mistake as well. Like my parents had known each other for, I think like 3 months, not even. And I just like slipped through, and of course my mother decided to have me, and then my father, they were young, like my mother was 27, my father was 25, I think. That's also probably why I have like a weird relationship with my father, because he was very young. So it was more like a brotherly relationship rather than an actual.
My youngest, my mom was 17 when she had me.
Really? Okay. Well, there we go. So did you have like a sort of sisterly relationship with her?
And when I was a kid, in a way, yes. But then growing up, the relationship didn't go that well.
Well, Ilaria she'll say sometimes that sometimes she thinks that it would be actually better to have like a kid at such a young age, because then by the time you're, the kid's grown up, you can have fun again. Because then you can be my age and you got like a grown-up kid, and now it's like, hey, let's party again. Instead, if I have a kid now, it's like, oh, now I have to actually, do work. You know, up until now it was all very, smooth sailing, and now it's going to be, waking up early and bringing kids to schools and kindergarten
Sleepless nights.
And sleepless nights. And it's like, oh gosh, I mean, I'd have had the energy 25 years ago. I don't know if I have the energy now for this. So that is a doubt. There is that doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I couldn't be bothered. I'm happy without children because I'm happy to pretend that I'm in control of my life. I'm in control of nothing, but at least I don't add the complications. It's like playing Tetris on one screen rather than having 5 more screens and playing simultaneously Tetris. So I thought, I can do this. I will do this. I was checking our time, and I was thinking, speaking of things we don't have in control, time flies.
Yeah.
And I think we covered. It's interesting because we have people that have kids, we have people that want to have kids, we have people that are open to the possibility, but only recently. So that was very interesting. So before we conclude, can you tell us where people can follow you? Where can find you on social media?
Yes,
so that we will post.
So I'm only on I'm only on 2 social medias at the moment, which is Instagram and TikTok. So both of them, you look for John Vincent, John Point Vincent. Technically, it's John Point. It's John.Vincent __. Because there's other John Vincents out there. One of which is a rapper, another one is like a singer, and another one. So I follow all the John Vincents.
So we will look for the.
I'm the John Vincent comedian who does comedy in Italian and English. That's right.
Okay, so that's.
Although most of the videos right now are in Italian, and hopefully in the future in YouTube, I've canceled Facebook because I'm up to date.
Good. So we will put the contact, and you can write to us at nokidsnopain@gmail.com or
you can message us on social media, No Kids No Pain. And that's all for us for this episode. Thank you, John, for being our guest.
Thank you so much, and see you next episode.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.